The top stories. Foreign interest in Bajan properties picks up. Ras Iley calls for the music of the veterans to receive crop over airplay. And Queen Akela gets a royal welcome. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, July the 30th, 2014.
This Friday, August 1st, Nation News Barbados brings you the MQI Banks Lime Pickety Crop Finals 2014, streaming live from Kensington Oval. Presenter Andy Thornhill with guest 9-time Calypso Monarch Gabby, former Pickety Crop Chief Judge Trevor Marshall, and Soca Queen Alison Hines streaming all the way from Canada. Join us live at nationnews.com from 6:30 p.m. to see Biggie Irie, Adrian Clark, Blood, Mikey, Crystal Cummins Beckles, The Announcer, Kidside, Miguel, Classic, and reigning monarch Ian Webster.
After 6 years of sluggish activity, the Barbados luxury homes market is picking up, according to the latest report from Knight Frank, a leading London estate agent and global property consultancy. The report says the most popular spot seems to be those properties located along the west coast and priced between $2 million and $6 million. Knight Frank's head of Caribbean sales said that he has seen a marked increase in buyer inquiries for Barbados. On Tuesday, we heard that Banks Breweries is doing better this year than last year. And we can now report that another Bajan stalwart firm has recorded an improved performance in the first half of this year. Cape Shepherd, the retail and financial services firm, says it hopes the trend will continue for the rest of 2014. A Barbadian-born, Britain-based businessman has suggested that taxation may not be the best way to improve struggling economies. Phil Walker, CEO of Summers Woods Limited, a consultancy firm, said international research shows that tax revenue decreases when taxation is high. Speaking to the media after addressing the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, he said he was not in a position to tell the government what to do, but he could offer a few examples of what works in other countries.
If you look at the 1930s recession in America, how did they get out of that recession? Well, how they got out of the recession, the irony was they invested. They invested in infrastructure, in roads and buildings. The debt was, of course, government paying government debt, but they put people back to work and they built a lot of infrastructure. Now, I can't comment on all of the Barbados roads, but it does strike me there are a few roads that could do with a bit of investment. That might be something that stimulates the economy. People then have a job. Guess what? They earn money, and guess what? They pay taxes, and the taxation revenue goes up.
The Barbados government has said that taxation has been used to dampen demand for imports and ease pressure on the foreign reserves. Tourist visits by air to Barbados rose by 1.4% in May from the same month last year, according to the Statistical Service. This was largely due to an 11% jump in traffic from Britain, likely the result of the Top Gear Festival. Cruise ship passenger visits also went up in May by 23.2% over the same time last year, according to the central bank. Industry Minister Donald Innes is calling for equal attention to be paid to manufacturing and services, even though services is growing faster. Addressing the 50th anniversary symposium of the Manufacturers Association, he said, neither sector should be expanded at the expense of the other, since they could enhance each other. Mr. Innes said building on their strengths would help to increase the island's share of foreign markets. The Small Business Association says it is working with government and banks to help its members to take their services online. At a members' meeting this week, the e-commerce development officer in the Ministry of Industry and Small Business, Chesterfield Coppin, discussed the pros and cons of doing business on the internet. The outstanding 11-plus students from 10 schools have received plaques and cash from the New York-based Hilltops Community Association, which has been giving back to children in Barbados for more than 2 decades. Students who received prizes at the short ceremony at the Ministry of Education are going to Aline, St. Michael, Combermere, Harrison College and Queen's College from September. Ras Iley, the 2-time former king of the road, says a group of what he calls concerned veterans have met officials of radio stations to express concern about airplay. He says the group believes that there's unfair rotation of music during cropover. Ras Iley says the response to last week's Monarchs in Concert show proves that there is support for the songs of the veterans, even though some on-air DJs apparently believe that some of the music is outdated. Staff of the Caribbean Development Bank have been showing off their creative side this week with an exhibition of their photos and paintings at the bank's Wilde headquarters. Human Resources Director Philip Brown said the CDB had staff from more than 13 countries and the exhibition was a way of encouraging camaraderie. In sports, world junior long jump champion Akela Jones is back home. She was met at the airport on Tuesday night by officials and supporters who cheered loudly when the smiling six-footer emerged from the arrivals hall minutes before 11. Jones said it was an extra special feeling to return from Oregon with a medal and that the country's size was no indicator of what its athletes can achieve. Barbados' junior volleyball team is turned to host El Salvador at the men's Under-21 Continental Championship on Tuesday night. The Bajans left the hosts and their fans in shock as the US-based Jabari Goodrich slammed 17 kills and served 2 aces to defeat El Salvador 25-21, 15-25, 25-17, 25-20. And in netball at the Commonwealth Games, Barbados lost 69-27 to England, who are into the semifinals. And finally, a man from Indiana has defied the odds again, claiming his second $1 million lottery prize in 3 months. Robert Hamilton purchased his latest winning scratch-off ticket last week from a convenience store on the south side of Indianapolis. In April, he won the exact same amount. His wife Donna said the couple paid off debts and invested in Mr. Hamilton's business with their first winnings this time around. Her husband plans to buy a motorcycle. And I'm writing off from here. That's Nation News from Wednesday. The news is available on nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. And the Weekend Nation is out a day early on Thursday because of the Friday public holiday.